You believe that a clearer mind is one that thinks better. That intelligence means analyzing more, predicting more, calculating more. But Miyamoto Musashi, in the Book of Emptiness, taught the opposite. The clearest mind is not the one that thinks best. It's the one that stops thinking when action is necessary. And you know this torment. Living trapped in endless analysis. Thinking too much. Acting too little. Carrying the weight of paralysis disguised as prudence. Lao Tzu warned millennia ago. He who knows need not think. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of disconnection from natural instinct. Between a man who calculates all the risks and a man who acts with instant clarity, there is a void, not absence. Fullness without noise. The sword does not debate before cutting. It simply cuts when the moment presents itself. If you seek freedom from mental paralysis, sign up. This space is a temple for men who have chosen to move without hesitation. He's trapped, not in a physical prison, in a much more devastating prison. His own mind. Simple decision, accept a job offer or not. But the mind turns simplicity into a maze. What if it's a mistake? What if there's a better option? What if I regret it? List the pros and cons. Ask 5 different people for their opinions. Research until the wee hours of the morning. Compare, analyze, reanalyze. And the more you think, the less you know. Because overthinking is a form of self-torture. A mind that doesn't make decisions lives in an eternal loop of possibilities that never materialize. Every moment spent in overanalysis is a moment stolen from life that happens only in the present. Feeling like you're drowning in thoughts while life slips through your fingers like sand. Musashi taught, in a duel, a hesitation of a breath is the difference between life and death. So too in everyday life. But he hesitates. He always hesitates. And cost isn't just a postponed decision. It's eroded trust, vitality drained, a lost presence. Still water becomes a swamp. A mind that doesn't flow becomes a prison. He realizes, late, always late, that he has confused preparation with procrastination. The modern mind believes that more information generates more clarity. It often only generates more confusion. Because overthinking is a defense mechanism. It postpones confrontation for fear of making a mistake, of rejection, of failure. And the modern paradox: the more options available, the more paralysis. Freedom without discernment becomes a burden. Lao Tzu already knew, the more rules and regulations, the more thieves and bandits. The more thoughts, the less action. A man who studies maps endlessly never leaves home. His journey exists only on the paper of his mind. Then he finds something that changes everything. Ancient book. Musashi's words on mushin. No mind. And the first reaction is confusion. How can I not think? Thinking is who I am. But read more slowly. And understand. Mushiness not empty of absence. It is empty of interference. Space where action emerges without mental resistance. A warrior doesn't win by outthinking his opponent. He wins by acting before his thoughts can delay his response. In the Book of Emptiness, Musashi wrote, "When the mind is empty of judgment, it becomes a perfect mirror that reflects the situation as it is, not as the ego interprets it." And modern neuroscience confirms ancient wisdom. States of peak performance, flow, occur when the prefrontal cortex, analysis center, decreases activity, allowing intuitive response. Elite athletes don't think during performance. Artists don't analyze during creation. Warriors don't calculate during combat. They enter the void. Zen Master Dogen taught, thinking about no thought is still thinking. True no thought is the calm ocean under the storm of the mind. And he finally understands complete inversion. It's not about thinking better. It's about recognizing when thinking has become an obstacle. Like a cyclist who doesn't think about every leg movement. Like breathing that doesn't require conscious command. Like a heart that beats without mental supervision. Purest action emerges when the mind interferes least. If this wisdom resonates with you, subscribe. Here, each reflection is a pause for breath between the noises of a racing mind. He decides to train. Not sword technique. Decision technique. First cut. Recognize rumination. Learn to identify the exact moment when analysis becomes rumination. When your mind starts repeating the same thoughts, it's a sign that a decision has been postponed for too long. Like a broken record playing the same part over and over again. Second cut. 3 breaths between paralysis and action. Develop a simple protocol. When you notice mental paralysis, stop. Take 3 deep breaths. Focus only on the physical sensation of breathing. Nothing else. Then, act in the first direction that comes to mind. No debate. No further analysis. Just move. Like a samurai who trained instant response not to eliminate fear, but to act in spite of it before fear became hesitation. Third cut. Accept imperfection of the action. Understand brutal truth. Executed error teaches. Eternal analysis only ages. When the mind begins to debate with itself, it asks one question. If I knew that any choice would work, which one would I make now? And then he does that. No guarantees. No certainties. Just movement. Because paralysis arises from the need to control the outcome. And when you accept that the outcome is uncontrollable, decision-making becomes simple. Spiritual math. The more we emotionally invest in the right choice, the harder it becomes to choose. Like a Zen archer, an arrow hits the target when the archer forgets to aim. Decisions flow when the ego stops interfering. Lao Tzu on Wu Wei. Effortless action does not mean not acting. It means acting without internal resistance. And Musashi concludes, in the Book of Emptiness, I wrote about nothing because only in emptiness can true form emerge. An empty mind is not a weak mind. It is a ready mind. He also discovers something surprising. When the mind is paralyzed, the body can decide. Get up. Walk. Move your hands. Physical action interrupts the mental loop. Samurai wisdom of repetitive practice. Kata forms were not memorized by the mind, but engraved on the body until the response was instantaneous. Like a Zen master who answered complex questions simply by making tea. As his hands moved, his mind found clarity that analysis never could. Rio doesn't decide its course by thinking. It simply flows along the path of least resistance that presents itself. But testing comes. It always comes. Big decision. Real consequences. And an ancient voice whispers, this time is different. This time you need to think harder. Paralysis tries to return. The seduction of endless analysis promises security that doesn't exist. He feels the weight returning. Familiar. Unhealthily comfortable. But then remember, emptiness isn't a technique for small decisions. It's a philosophy for all decisions. Breathe 3 times. Feel your feet on the ground. Cold hands. Heart beating. And he acts. Not because he's certain, but because he understands that certainty is an illusion that paralysis offers but never delivers. A wrong decision executed teaches more than a right decision postponed indefinitely. A caterpillar doesn't consider whether it should become a butterfly. It simply allows the natural process to unfold. True strength isn't in never doubting. It's in acting through doubt without waiting for it to disappear, and realizes final transformation. By mastering the technique of emptiness, he did not eliminate thought. He eliminated the tyranny of thought over action. Emptiness is not the absence of content. It is the absence of attachment to content. An empty mind contains everything without being possessed by anything. If this philosophy resonates with you, subscribe and activate the bell. Here, each video is a conscious pause in the midst of chaos, a portal to a void that liberates. Musashi's sword did not hesitate, not because he was smarter than his opponents, but because he had emptied his mind of everything except the present moment. And the joint lesson of Musashi, Lao Tzu and Dogen is this: thinking less isn't ignorance. It's the wisdom to distinguish when thinking is helpful and when it's a hindrance. By practicing the void technique, man does not become reckless. He becomes free to act with clarity that excessive analysis obscures. The path is not to eliminate doubt. It is to act before doubt turns into paralysis. The warrior of the void doesn't win because he never makes mistakes. He wins because he acts while others are still deciding. Move while the world thinks. Cut while the opponent calculates. Live while paralysis watches. And in the end, it's not about how many right decisions you made. It's about how many decisions you made. Because life doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't pause. Moment doesn't negotiate. Either you're there when it appears, or it passes by, and you're left with a momentary analysis that no longer exists. Musashi's empty mind contained everything: strategy, technique, experience. But at the moment of the cut, it contained only cut. If this philosophy of unhesitating action resonates with you, sign up. Here, every word is a portal to a liberating void. Comment below, "I act." This shows that you belong to the lineage of men who chose movement over analysis. The sword does not debate. The river does not hesitate. Life does not wait. And you, Axiom Sage, where ancient wisdom meets the man who chose to act. Until the next fertile void.